Hello, first and second graders. This week is our last week to talk about fairy tales and folk tales. Remember, a folk tale is a story that is passed down from generation to generation. And a fairy tale is a type of folk tale with good and evil in it. Fairy tales usually have numbers of 3 to 7, like 3 bears, or 3 times Goldilocks would do something. There's also talking animals, magic, sometimes there's royalty like princesses, and they teach a lesson. So today we're going to be reading a story that is a retelling of a fairy tale. It's actually a fractured fairy tale. Remember fractured fairy tales? This book is called The Mermaid, and it's by Jan Brett. Do you remember anything about Jan Brett? Let me show you a page from the story. Usually, Jan Brett will include extra little pictures on the side to give you more details about the story. So let's start. The Mermaid by Jan Brett. Under the sea, an octopus family got ready for a swim before breakfast. "Time to put on your new hat, baby," said Oka-san. Baby did not like the floppy new hat. The hat was not happy either. As the octopus family set off behind their house, a little mermaid spotted the front door. Kiniro had been drifting in a warm current with her pufferfish friend. "Take care," Puffy warned. "You never know who might live there." "But I'm so curious," she said. Kiniro sashayed toward the seashell house. Inside, breakfast had been set out. Pause for a second. What fairy tale do you think this is retelling? Maybe you got it already, but keep listening, see if you can figure it out. There was a great big shell, a medium-sized shell, and a little shell. Kiniro took a bite from the big shell. "Too crunchy," she said. The little mermaid tried the tender bites on the medium-sized shell. "Too slimy," she said. Puffy could guess what was coming next. Kiniro sidled up to this little shell. In a minute, the tempting tidbit had disappeared. "Just right," she said. "All gone," said Puffy, as he wondered whose breakfast it really was. Here on the side, you can see the octopus family. Kiniro floated around the seashell house and saw 3 chairs. There was a big chair, a middle-sized chair, and a little chair. She sat down on the large coral chair. "Too many bumps," she said as she smoothed her scales. Kiniro wriggled into the middle-sized chair. Down she went. "This chair is too slippery," she said. So she's tried 1, 2, 3 chairs, a number of 3. The little chair was the prettiest of all, and Kiniro sat on it. "Just right," she said, and she gave her fins a flippity flip. All that wiggling broke the chair to bits. Kiniro was sorry about the pretty chair, but not for long, because in the next room she spotted 3 beds. She and Puffy had been swimming for hours and were ready for a nap. She swam over and settled down. "What sweet dreams we'll have," she told her friend. But somebody had been eating in that bed, and there were smashed shells and crab claws all around. "This bed is too messy." She flopped down on the middle-sized bed. "This bed is too squishy," she complained. It rocked like a cradle in the tide. Oh, as Kinero patted her tiara, she spied the last small bed. It rocked like a cradle in the tide. She set her head down on a pillow star and fell sound asleep. Soon, the octopus family returned over the sandy shoals. Right away, Octo-san, remember that was father from earlier, saw his breakfast shell overturned. "Someone's been crushing on my crustaceans," he said, turning pink. Oka-san huffed. "My breakfast has been splashed." She turned pinkish too. Baby looked around for her breakfast, but all she saw was the upside-down shell. "Someone has been eating my breakfast and there's nothing left for me," she cried. Oto-san saw that his coral shell looked different. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," he announced even redder. Oka-san went from pink to red when she saw her chair. "Who has been squashing my chair and scattering my teacups?" she asked. Baby saw her beautiful chair, all in pieces. The hermit crabs were taking it. "My chair is going, gone," she cried. Poor baby octopus. Sensing something else was amiss, Oto-san squeezed into the bedroom. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed!" He blasted ocean water and kicked up the star-shaped sand. Puffy felt the ripples as Oka-san jetted toward her bed. The soft seaweed she liked to drowse in was tangled and torn. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," she said. Baby octopus peeked inside her tiny bed and saw a beautiful mermaid. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and here she is!" The little mermaid opened her eyes. The adorable baby's eyes were soft and sweet. Her skin was shell pink. Her graceful arms danced, but she was wearing the oddest hat that the little mermaid had ever seen. Kinero, who didn't like to see anyone unhappy, gasped, "That will not do." She thought about her tiara, and she had an idea. What do you think Kinero is going to do? Just then, all three octopuses reached for Kinero with their 24 arms. 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. Puffy was ready. He puffed with all his might. Puffa puffa, pokety poke, stickety stick. His sharp prickles did not let the octopuses near the little mermaid. Kinero had just enough time to leave her gift before she darted away. Kinero, Puffy, and their new friend Eagle Ray swam away from the seashell house. They couldn't stop smiling about baby octopus's crowning gift. How do you think they got Eagle Ray? Yeah, it was the hat. She looked radiant in her beautiful new tiara. This book was a retelling of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There were a lot of things that were the same, like going to the porridge, or the food, I guess it wasn't porridge, the food, the chair, and then the bed. But the beds looked different, the characters were different, and the food was different. At the end, she even gave a new hat instead of just running away. So I would say that fits a fractured fairy tale. They're based on fairy tales, but the author has changed the setting. The setting was now in the ocean. They changed the characters. Instead of Goldilocks, we have Kinero and octopuses. And sometimes changes major events. This one didn't really change the major events, but there were, the beds were different, and the food was different, and the chairs were different. So I guess that could be changing the major events a little bit. Today's word is sidle. Based on this picture and the sentence I'm about to read, what do you think sidle means? Kinero sidled up to the little chair. Kinero sidled up to the little chair. In a minute, the tempting tidbit had disappeared. Oh, I'm sorry. Kinero sidled up to the little shell. Here's the picture. Kinero sidled up to the little shell. This dog and cat are sidling up to the meat. It says sidle, to move closer. So remember, if we have a synonym or a definition, we can put that in the sentence and see what it says. Kinero moved closer to the little shell. Kinero moved closer to the little shell. Yep, it works. The rest of this video is just me walking through this sheet step by step. If you don't want step-by-step instructions and you just want to do it by yourself, go ahead and you can turn the video off now. Your assignment is this sheet. I have two here, but you'll only have one. The setting. What was the setting of the mermaid? Yeah, it was under the sea or in the ocean. Try your best to spell. It doesn't have to be perfect. Characters. Who are the characters in this story? You don't have to write Oto-san and Oka-san. You can just write the octopus family, and then there were two other characters. Kinero, yep, the mermaid, and what was her fish's name? Puffy. Octopus family, Kinero, and Puffy. Things. What things happened in the story? Well, you can write about the chair and the shell that they ate the food out of, and the bed. And then, of course, the ending, what happened at the end. And how is that different from the ending of Goldilocks and the Three Bears? This is your assignment. For me, record a sentence of you using the word sidle. Goodbye.